Shalom Aleichem, and today we're looking at chapter 8. Today we're looking at chapter 8 and we'll be looking at Hebrew adjectives. Let's review what we looked at in chapter 7. In chapter 7 we're looking at Hebrew nouns, and we say that when you're looking at a noun gives you two things that are important: gender of the word and the number of the word. And we said the gender of the word can either be masculine or feminine. And when we looked at the two genders, we said that each gender has its own special endings that tell you that when you're looking at the word is either masculine singular or masculine plural, or feminine singular or feminine plural. Each of these have their own special endings. And we looked at these examples. We said under the masculine singular has no special ending. For example, the word melech. The word melech has no special ending because the word melech, which means king, is found in the masculine singular. And so a word in the masculine singular has no special ending that you add to the word. But when you come to the masculine plural has a special ending. We say the masculine plural, when you take a masculine singular noun into the plural, you're going to add im. And this im suffix, im that you add is going to tell you that the word you're looking at is in the plural, but in the masculine plural. For example, the word melech means king and is singular. If you want to say kings, you're going to say melachim. That im tells you that the word is now kings and not king. So when you come to the feminine, we say the feminine has a special ending, and that ending is a. For example, malcha, which means queen. Because of that a ending. That a ending tells you that the word you're looking at, that malcha, is a feminine singular noun. Malcha means queen. If you want to say queens, you're going to say melachot. And melachot means queens. That ot at the end tells you that the word you're looking at is in the plural, it's in the feminine plural. So the most important thing here is this: the two genders have their special endings that you add to the words. And these endings tell you the gender of the word. But remember, the masculine singular has no special ending. This information will be very important as we look at Hebrew adjectives, because adjectives use noun endings. I want to repeat. Hebrew adjectives also use noun endings. So these endings are very important as we look at Hebrew adjectives. Let's move on. Now here's what we want to look at today. We want to look at Hebrew adjectives and how they agree with nouns. And then we're going to look at the functions of adjectives. In the end, we're going to look at adjectives and how they work with demonstrative pronouns. Let's start by looking at adjectives. Now, what is an adjective? An adjective is a word used to modify or qualify a noun. For example, a big man. Instead of saying man, you say a big man. Or instead of saying people, you say a holy people. So, holy, great, big, these adjectives. And English has an abundance of adjectives. And Hebrew works the same also. Hebrew has adjectives that modify nouns. But unlike English, Hebrew adjectives change their form. Remember, by form we talk about spelling. So unlike English, Hebrew adjectives are going to change their spelling to match what they modify, to match the noun that they modify. So an adjective in Hebrew must match a noun it modifies in gender and number. This is a rule of adjectives. Adjectives in Hebrew must match nouns that they modify in gender and number. They must agree with the noun they modify in gender and in number. Let me explain this using the adjective tov. Now, tov means good. Tov means good. So let's use the adjective tov. If you want to modify a feminine singular noun, for example, if you want to say a good woman, you're going to change the spelling. You're not going to say tov, you're going to say tova. Why? Because the adjective has to agree in gender and number with the noun it's modifying. Since you're talking about a woman and woman is feminine, and a woman is singular, women is plural, woman is singular, you're going to use tova. Why do we need to add the a ending? Because we are modifying a feminine noun. And remember, the a ending is telling you that the word is feminine. And so it's going to be tova. If you want to modify a masculine plural noun, you're going to say tovim. Why tovim? Because that im that you're adding to the word tov is telling you that the word you're modifying is a masculine plural noun. Now, this sounds like a lot, but we're going to understand what this all means when we look at the example. Now, let's look at more examples to illustrate this. We're still looking at agreement of adjectives. And we're saying the adjective must match with the noun or agree with the noun. It's modifying in gender and number. There are two things in gender and number. We have this example, Ish Gadol. Ish Gadol. Gadol means great. Gadol is an adjective which means great. So Ish Gadol. Ish means man. So here you have man great. Man great. You have a man great. A man great. And if you look at man, Ish, if you look at the word Ish, Ish is masculine singular. If you look at the word, the adjective Gadol is also masculine singular. Both of them have no endings. Both of them have no endings. So they are agreeing in gender and number. So this is translated to mean a great man. A great man. Ish is a man. So here you have a man great. Because in Hebrew, most of the times adjectives modifiers come after the noun that they modify. So you have a man great, which means a great man. Look at the second example. Isha Gedolah. Isha Gedolah. On top there we have Gadol, but down there we have Gedolah. What has happened? We are modifying Isha, and Isha is a feminine. It's a feminine singular word, feminine singular noun. And Isha means a woman. And since we are modifying a feminine singular noun, the adjective has to carry the ending for the feminine singular. So it's not going to be Gadol because Gadol is masculine. We're going to say Gadolah to match the ending of the noun. So this means a great woman. A great woman. In the next example we have Anashim Tovim. Anashim Tovim. Now if you remember, Anashim is an irregular plural of Ish. Ish means man. In the plural, it becomes Anashim. When you want to say men, you say Anashim. This is an irregular noun, and we looked at this in the previous chapter. So you need to revise on these because these are now needed in this chapter. This information is now needed in this chapter. So Anashim is men. Men. Now notice Tovim from the adjective Tov. Instead of having Tov, we have Tovim. Because this adjective that we have to use to modify the word Anashim. Now notice Anashim is a masculine plural word. And so we have to also get a masculine plural adjective to modify a masculine plural word. So we're going to have Anashim Tovim. Tovim comes from the adjective Tov, which means good. So the translation is going to be good men. Anashim means men. So it's going to be good men. Anashiv Tovim. What is more important is to notice that the adjective always carries the same endings as the noun. Or, in other words, the adjective has to match with the noun in gender and number. The number has to be the same and the gender has to be the same. On the last example we have Nashim Tovot. Nashim Tovot. Now you may be wondering what is happening here, because when you analyze, the first word looks like it's masculine. It's masculine plural because of the im. Im ending is for the masculine plural. So you have Nashim. And the adjective looks like it's in the feminine plural because of that ot. Ot is feminine plural. So you may be wondering, these two are not matching. But they are actually matching because Nashim is an irregular of the word Isha. I want to repeat, Nashim, we looked at this in the previous chapter. Nashim is an irregular form of the word Isha. Isha means woman. If you want to say women, you say Nashim. And so Nashim is feminine, even though it's taking masculine plural ending, it's still feminine. And so it's irregular because even though it's having masculine plural endings, the word itself is feminine. And so Nashim is feminine plural, and the adjective is also feminine plural because of the ot. So here you have a feminine plural noun and also feminine plural adjective. So you have Nashim Tovot, which means good women. What are we saying? The adjective in Hebrew has to match, has to agree with the noun it's modifying in gender and number. Now to help you see this clearly, let me use a highlighted chart. So here you have singular examples and plural examples. Let's start with the singular examples. You have Ish Tov. Ish Tov. Ish Tov means a good man. A good man. Here you have Ish, and Ish is singular, masculine singular. You also have Tov, which is masculine singular adjective. So a good man. There's agreement there. When you come to the plural, you have Anashim Tovim. Anashim Tovim. You can see the endings are the same. Anashim is the plural of the word Ish. Anashim is the plural of the word Ish. So Anashim is men. Anashim means men. So you have men, good. Tovim means good, but it's good in the plural because of that im ending. And you can see the endings are the same because they have to match in gender and number with the noun is modifying. So here you have good men. Ish Tov is a good man. Anashim Tovim means good men. Anashim Tovim means good men. Next you have Melech Gadol. Melech Gadol. Melech is a word for king. So Melech means a king. It's in the singular, a king. A king, Gadol means great. As you can see, Melech has no ending and Gadol has no ending. So both of them are in the masculine singular. They are agreeing. So this means a great king. When you want to say a great king, you say Melech Gadol. If you want to say a good man, you say Ish Tov. So Melech Gadol means a great king. But how do you say great kings? To say great kings, you're going to say Melachim Gedolim. Melachim Gedolim. There's that im at the end. That's telling you that the adjective is matching with the noun is modifying. Melachim is plural. It means kings. So the adjective is also going to be plural. Both of them are plural, but they are masculine plural. Why? Because of the im. So great kings. Another example here in the singular, you have Miuka Gedola. Miuka Gedola. Now the a ending is telling you that the words are feminine singular. So you have Miuka, which means a queen. Gedola means great. So it's a great queen. A great queen. The adjective has to match with the noun. It's modifying. In the plural you have Meokot Gedolot. Meokot Gedolot means great queens. Great queens. Again, there's agreement there. You can see feminine plural adjective. In the singular, you have Mitzvah Tova. Mitzvah Tova, which means a good commandment. Ending is telling you that the two are feminine singulars. In the plural, if you want to say good commandments, you say Mitzot Tovot. Mitzot Tovot becomes good commandments. There's agreement. And when you come down, you have Isha Tova. Isha Tova, which means a good woman. And in the plural, it becomes Nashim Tovot. Nashim Tovot. Now if you remember, Nashim is a regular of the word Isha. Isha means woman, Nashim means women. It has im ending for the masculine, but the word itself is feminine. So this is a feminine plural word. It's a regular feminine plural word. And so the adjective is going to be feminine plural because it's modifying a feminine plural word, even though it's a regular, but in actual sense, Nashim is feminine plural. So adjective will be Tovot. Nashim Tovot, meaning good women. This is very important when you be translating. You need to know irregulars. You need to know irregulars because they're a bit confusing. You need to know them and know them by heart. Last example there we have Ir Gedola. Ir Gedola. Now Ir is a feminine noun, even though it has no ending. Remember, Ir means city, and city in Hebrew is feminine. And so it's going to carry an adjective in the feminine. And so since the noun is singular, the adjective will be feminine singular, Gedola. In the plural, it's going to be Arim Gedolot. Arim Gedolot. Remember, Ir in the plural becomes Arim. It's also irregular. It's carrying masculine ending, but the word itself is feminine. But the adjective that is modifying it will be feminine plural because the word arim is feminine plural, even though it's having masculine plural ending. That's important. So here, all we are saying is this, that adjectives are words that modify nouns, but in Hebrew, the adjective is going to change its spelling to match the noun is modifying. So if a noun is feminine plural, the adjective is going to be feminine plural, and it's going to carry feminine plural ending. If a noun is masculine singular, the adjective is going to carry masculine singular endings, because adjectives always match the nouns that they modify in gender and number. Now, just like we saw on the nouns, adjectives also behave like nouns. When you make adjectives to be plural, when you add those plural endings, the vowels are going to change. Remember we talked about propretonic reduction? When you have kamets in the first syllable, that kamets is going to reduce to a schwa. And this is the same principle that is affecting adjectives also. When you add the endings, the plural endings, the kamets in the first syllable is going to reduce to a schwa. This is the same principle affecting adjectives. So here we have a paradigm on how adjectives are formed. Remember, adjectives can be in the singular or they can be in the plural. Adjectives have a form for the masculine and a form for the feminine. So if an adjective is modifying a singular masculine noun, it's going to be gadol. But when the adjective is modifying a masculine plural noun, it's going to be gedolim. Gedolim. So gadol in the singular, because the singular has no ending, but in the plural it's going to be gedolim. Gedolim. There's that im ending because the masculine plural has im ending. So the adjective is going to be gedolim. What has happened there? The kamets has been reduced to a schwa. And this is seen throughout there. The kamets has been reduced to a schwa because of the endings that have been added. So masculine singular has gadol, masculine plural has gedolim, feminine singular has gedolah, feminine plural has gedolot. Gedolot. So if you want to say great and you're modifying a feminine singular noun, you're going to say gedolah. But if you're modifying a feminine plural noun and you want to use the adjective great, you're going to say gedolot. So this is a simple chart on how adjectives are formed when they add the plural endings. Remember, the kamets is only found in the masculine singular because the masculine singular adds no endings. When you start adding endings, the kamets is going to reduce to a schwa. Alright, let's move on. And just like the nouns, on the nouns we say that if the initial letter, if the first syllable is a guttural, then the schwa is going to shift into a hatef patach. Because gutturals never take a simple schwa. Gutturals do not accept a schwa. They always accept compound schwas. And most importantly, hatef patach. So, this is what is happening here. Here we're using the adjective new. Chadash. Chadash. Chadash means new. And that's an adjective. It means new. So it's the same principle as the previous one. You're going to add endings. And when endings are added, the first syllable is going to reduce to a simple schwa. But in this case, you have the chet. And chet is a guttural. And gutturals never accept schwa. And so instead of having a schwa, the kamets is going to reduce into a hatef patach. So you're going to have chadash, chadashim. In the feminine, you're going to have chadasha. And in the plural, you're going to have chadashot. This is how adjectives are formed when they add the plural endings. And you realize that adjectives also use noun endings because adjectives modify nouns. And so they use the noun endings. Except in the masculine singular, because masculine singular has no special ending. So even the adjective will not add an ending there. You have hadash. In the plural you have chadashim. In the feminine singular you have chadasha. In the plural you have hadashot. Hadashot. So this is a simple chart on how adjectives are formed when they add plural endings. Now let's look at the three functions of adjectives. There are three ways in which adjectives are used in Hebrew. Number one, they are used in the attributive way. For example, when you want to say the good book. Number two, they are used as a predicate. For example, when you say the book is good. Number 3, they're used as a substantive. For example, when you say the good are blessed, when you say the good, that's substantive use of the adjective. We're going to look at all this and look at what they mean. But let's begin with attributive use. Now, where you position the adjective is depending on the function of the adjective in the sentence. For example, when an adjective is in the attributive function, it always comes after the noun it's modifying, and is going to agree with the noun in gender, number, and definiteness. The adjective is going to agree with the noun in gender, in number, and definiteness. Let's look at the examples of attributive use. You have the phrase Ish Tov. Ish Tov means a good man. Attributive use, the adjective directly modifies the noun. It modifies the noun. And so it's going to come after the noun is modifying. So it's Ish Tov. The translation is going to be a good man. Both of those are singular. It's going to be a good man. Remember, it's going to agree with the noun in gender, number, and now we're saying in definiteness. Definiteness means that if the noun is having a definite article, the adjective is also going to carry a definite article. In this case, Ish is not having definite article. So Tov is not having definite article. And so here they're agreeing in gender, number, and definiteness. Another example here we have Ha'isha Hatov. Remember, Ha is the definite article. We looked at this. Ha means there. So Ha'isha, Isha means woman. So Ha'isha is the woman. Hatova means the good. The woman, the good. Tova means good. So Ha'isha means the woman. Hatova means good. So Ha'isha Hatova. The woman, the good. And the adjective here is in the attributive use because it's coming after the noun. And because it comes after the noun, it's modifying the word Isha or the noun Isha. And so the translation is going to be the good woman. Why are we saying there? Because the noun is definite. It has a definite article. It's not Isha, it's Ha'isha, meaning the good woman. And here you can see both are feminine and they're feminine singular. The noun is feminine singular, the are ending. In the adjective is feminine singular, the are ending. So it's agreeing in gender, number, and on top of that, definiteness. Both are definite. Last example here, we have Elohim Sadiq. Sadiq means righteous. Elohim means God, so you have God righteous, a God righteous. So Elohim is masculine singular, and Sadiq is also masculine singular. It's not having any ending, so it's masculine singular. Also, Elohim is not having the definite article. Sadiq is also not having definite article. So they are agreeing in gender, number, and definiteness. And because the adjective is coming after the noun, it's modifying the word Elohim. And the translation becomes righteous God. Righteous God. So here's a tip by the side to remind you on the function of attributive use. Remember we said attributive adjective comes after the noun they modify, and they agree in gender, number, and definiteness. They agree in three things: gender, number, and definiteness. So attributive comes after the noun and it agrees in gender, number, and definiteness. Let's look at the predicate use. Now on the predicate use, the adjective mostly stands before the noun is modifying. Remember, in the attributive, the adjective stands after the noun. But in the predicate use, when the adjective is in the predicate use, the adjective is going to stand before the noun is modifying. And what is important, it's going to agree in gender and number, but not definiteness. So here's a tip. The predicate adjective is going to be deprived. Predicate deprived of the definite article. So if the adjective is functioning as a predicate adjective, it's going to be deprived, predicate deprived of the definite article. So in short, it's going to agree in gender and number, but not definiteness. Let's look at the examples. You have the phrase Tov Ha'ish. Tov Ha'ish. Tov means good. Ha'ish means the man. Now notice the adjective is standing before the noun, and the adjective number 2 is not having the definite article. The noun is having the definite article, ha'ish, meaning the man, but the adjective is not having the definite article. Though it's agreeing, the adjective is agreeing with the noun in gender and number, because the noun is masculine singular and the adjective is masculine singular. But the adjective in the predicate use is not going to match in definiteness. If the noun is having the definite article, the adjective is not going to have the definite article. And so that changes how you translate it. The translation is not going to be the good man, the translation is going to be the man is good. Now you may be wondering, how do I know that the adjective is in the predicate use? Here's the answer. The adjective will never take the article, and also the adjective will stand before the noun. And let me emphasize, the predicate adjective never takes the definite article. It never has the definite article. And this is key in translation. This is key in how you translate adjectives. Here's the key. If an adjective occurs with a definite noun, if an adjective occurs with a noun that is definite, that is having a definite article, but the adjective itself is not having the definite article, you are going to form a sentence by implying is or was or are. For example, you're going to say the man was good, the man is good, or the men are good. Why? Because the adjective is in the predicate use. It's making a statement about the noun. In the attributive use, you're going to say the good man. But in the predicate use, you're going to say the man is good. And the key is this, that the adjective is not going to have the definite article when the noun is having the definite article. Also, the adjective is going to stand before the noun is modifying. Second example is Tova ha'isha. Tova ha'isha. Tova means good. Because of that a ending, it's a feminine singular adjective. Tova. And the noun also is feminine singular. Isha. But then you have Tova ha'isha. The noun is having definite article. The adjective is indefinite. It's not having the definite article. But both of them are agreeing in gender and number. And because of the position of the adjective is coming before the noun, and because it's not having the definite article, the adjective here is functioning predicatively. And so how you translate it, you're going to say, the woman is good. Instead of saying the good woman, you're going to say the woman is good. Why? Because since the adjective is lacking the definite article, the translation is going to be, you're going to supply is or was or are, depending on the context. So here, we're going to say, the woman is good. Now, there are cases where you find a predicate adjective coming after the noun. Now, I say that predicate adjectives always come before the noun. But in some cases, predicate adjectives come after the noun that they modify. For example, this phrase here, Weha'ish gadol. Weha'ish gadol. Weha'ish, you have that conjunction. We means and. Ha'ish means the man. So, and the man, gadol. Gadol means great, and the man, great. The adjective is coming after the noun, and we know it's predicate because it's not having the definite article. We know the noun is having the definite article. Now, you may be asking, why is it coming after the noun? Whenever a predicate adjective comes after the noun, that is for the purpose of emphasis. The emphasis is placed on the noun that is coming before the adjective. For example, here you have the phrase, Weha'ish gadol. It was supposed to be gadol weha'ish, which means the man was great. But now you have weha'ish gadol. The rule is broken. And whenever the order is broken in Hebrew, it's for the purpose of emphasis. And here, the emphasis is placed on the noun that is coming before the adjective. So here, the emphasis is placed on the man, and the man himself was great. And this is a story that you find, and this is a phrase that you find in 1 Samuel 25 verse 2, talking about Nabal, talking about his greatness, his riches. The normal way to write a predicate adjective is to place it before the noun, but in rare cases you're going to find it after the noun, and in those cases, it's for the purpose of emphasis. The emphasis is placed on the noun. They want to emphasize the noun that is coming before the adjective. But you always tell the predicate adjective because it would never take the definite article. Predicate adjective never takes the definite article. So here you have Weha'ish gadol. Gadol is not having the definite article, and so it's predicate. It's agreeing in gender and number but not in definiteness. Another example of a case where you have the predicate adjective coming after the noun instead of before the noun is in Numbers 13 verse 28, among many others. Here you have the phrase He'arim Betzorot. He'arim Betzorot. He'arim means the cities. He is a definite article. Arim is cities. This is an irregular form of ir, which means city. In the plural it becomes arim. So you have He'arim, the cities, Betzorot, fortified. This is an adjective, fortified. Now in Numbers 13 verse 28, in Numbers 13, in the book of Numbers chapter 13, you find spies that are bringing report. Moses had sent them to go and spy the land, and they come back bringing a report, and the 10 spies are saying, the cities are fortified. And the emphasis in Hebrew, word order is abnormal, is swapped. It's using a predicate adjective. Predicate adjective is supposed to stand before the noun, but here it's standing after the noun. Why? Because the emphasis is placed on the cities. The 10 spies that are giving the report want to show how great the city was. The city itself was great, was fortified, is fortified. And so they are placing emphasis on the city, how big and great the city is. The predicate adjective is coming after the noun instead of before the noun. Why? Because the emphasis is given to the noun that is coming before the adjective. Now the point I'm making is this. A predicate adjective always stands before the noun, but when it comes after the noun, it's for the sake of emphasis, to emphasize the noun that is coming before the adjective. And that is very important when you're doing exegesis. That is very important when you're doing exegesis. But remember, you always know the predicate adjective because it will never take the definite article, even though the noun has the definite article. It agrees in gender, number, but not in definiteness. And so here's a tip. The predicate adjective is deprived, predicate deprived of the definite article. And the key on translation is this. If the adjective occurs with a noun, but the adjective is not having the definite article, meanwhile the noun is having the definite article, the translation is going to supply is or are or was, depending on the context. For example, here you have Weha'ish Gadol, and the man was great, there's that was that is applied because the predicate adjective makes a statement about the noun. The man was great, or the cities are fortified. Predicate adjectives make a statement about the noun. And so when you're translating them, you're going to supply is or was or are, depending on the context. So here's a summary of the two uses. We've looked at the two uses, attributive and predicative. In the attributive, the adjective comes after the noun, it modifies, and it agrees in definiteness. It agrees in gender, number, and definiteness. For example, Ha'ish, Hatov. Both of them are going to carry the definite article. And if the noun is not having definite article, the adjective is also not going to have the definite article. And so this is going to be the good man. It's modifying the noun. It's giving an attribute to the noun. The good man, the bad man, the wicked man is modifying or attributing the noun. But when you come to the predicate makes a statement about the noun. And so usually it precedes or stands before the noun. It agrees in gender and number, but not in definiteness. It never takes the definite article. And so you have Tov Ha'ish, which means the man is good. The man is good. Let's look at the third use, substantive use. Substantive use. Sometimes adjective will function as a noun in the sentence. And this is common when you don't have a noun in the sentence. The adjective is going to stand or function as a noun in the sentence. In these cases, there will be no accompanying noun, and the adjective will be taken as a noun itself. It's going to function or stand as a noun. For example, if the adjective tov is standing alone in the sentence, it's going to be translated as the good one, or the good man, or gadol is going to be the great one. And so the tip is substantive is going to substitute the noun. It's going to stand in place of the noun. So you have the three: attributive, predicative, and substantive use. After having looked at the three kinds of adjectives, Hebrew adjectives can also be used to show emphasis. And this we have already seen that firstly, Hebrew can use word order to show emphasis by simply swapping or reversing the word order. The second way to show emphasis in Hebrew is by using repetition. Hebrew uses repetition to show emphasis. For example, you have the phrase Yetzer Samuch Titzor Shalom Shalom. Yetzer Samuch Titzor Shalom Shalom. And this is a phrase that you find in Isaiah 26 verse 3. And it says, you keep in perfect peace the one whose mind is steadfast. Now where it says perfect peace, in Hebrew it says Shalom Shalom. Shalom means peace. So in Hebrew it says peace, peace. And by Hebrew repeating peace, peace, the repetition is showing emphasis. So Hebrew repeats to show emphasis. And that in English is going to come out as you keep in perfect peace, in complete peace, the one whose mind is steadfast. So this is not mere calm, but wholeness, completeness in God's protection. The second phrase is Kadosh, 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 Yahweh Sebaot. Kadosh, 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 Yahweh Sebaot. And that means holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. So emphasis here is on the repeated words Kadosh, 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 meaning holy, holy, holy. And here, Hebrew repeats Kadosh 3 times to show Hebrew superlative. And this expresses absolute or complete infinite holiness. So Hebrew doesn't have words like holier or holiest. Hebrew uses repetition to elevate the adjectives, to show superlatives. So it's going to say Kadosh, 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 meaning holy of holies is the Lord of hosts. So that's how Hebrew works with adjectives, to show emphasis. Now while we're still on adjectives, let me point out that adjectives can also be used to make comparative statements. In English, we say, the boys are stronger than the girls. And this is comparative statement because the word stronger is used to show comparison. Now in Hebrew, to show comparison, Hebrew is going to combine with the preposition mean, and mean means from, to complete the construction. Let's look at the example. The first example we have, Habayit Gadol min ha'ohel. Habayit Gadol min ha'ohel. And that literally means the house big from the tent. The house big from the tent. Habayit is the house. Gadol means great. Min, the preposition min means from. Ha'ohel means the tent. Ohel means tent. So it literally means the house big from the tent. But when you're translating, because you have an adjective and you have mean, Hebrew uses adjective plus mean to show comparison. So in translation, you're going to say, the house is bigger than the tent. The house is bigger than the tent. Because mean here, with the adjective, shows comparison between two things. The house is bigger than the tent. Now, if you want to show superlative state in Hebrew, if you want to show the highest degree, this is how you do it in Hebrew. It's different from English. In English, for example, we say, John is the strongest boy in the class. And the adjective strongest there is used to show superlative, meaning John is above everyone in class. John is the strongest boy in class. But again, Hebrew does not have words like strongest, biggest. The superlative usage of adjectives in Hebrew can be formed by placing the adverb meod after the adjective. Meod means very. So in Hebrew, when you want to form the superlative state, you're going to place meod after the adjective. First example is this. Tov meod. Tov meod. And Tov meod means very good. Very good. And this means the best. It means the best. So if somebody is greeting you, and in response, you want to show that everything is okay, you are very good, you say Tov meod. If somebody says Ma shlomcha, which means how are you, you can say Tov. Tov means I'm fine. But if you want to say you're very fine, you say Tov meod. Tov meod. I'm very fine. The other example is this. Tova haaretz me'od me'od. Tova haaretz me'od me'od. And here I have repetition, me'od me'od. And so the phrase is going to mean the land was exceedingly good. You have an adjective, tova, and then you have combined it with me'od me'od. And this means the land was exceedingly good, was very, very good. So this is one of the ways of showing comparison or superlative use in Hebrew. By using the preposition mean to show comparison, to compare two things, you're going to use mean. And if you want to show superlative state, you're going to use the adverb me'od. Me'od means very. Now let's move on. Let's look at adjectives and demonstrative pronouns. Adjectives and demonstrative pronouns. Why are we looking at adjectives and demonstrative pronouns? Because demonstrative pronouns also behave like adjectives, and that we're going to see. Now, what are demonstrative pronouns? Demonstrative pronouns are words that point out another word or phrase. In English, these are words like this, that, these, those. These are demonstrative pronouns. They point out a word or thing. This man, those men. Those are demonstrative pronouns. Now, demonstrative pronouns have two roles or functions. Firstly, they are used as adjectives. And this is when they modify a noun. For example, this man, those kings. In that way, they're used as adjectives. And secondly, they can be used as pronouns. And that is when they're standing alone. For example, this is good, or those are strong. They're used as pronouns. So let's go in details and look at Hebrew demonstrative pronouns. Now here's a paradigm for demonstrative pronouns in Hebrew, and there are two. Here on top we have this demonstrative pronoun, and down here we have that demonstrative pronoun. Now the word this is used to refer to things that are near the speaker. For example, if you say this chair or this pen, those items are near the speaker. And the word that is used to refer to things that are far from the speaker. For example, you say that chair, that car. It means that the item is far away from the speaker. So we have two demonstrative pronouns, this and that. And this is a paradigm for both of them. Now, one thing that stands out in Hebrew from English is this. In English, this and that have just one form of writing. They have one way of writing them. For example, if you say, this man, the spelling for this that you're going to use on man and the spelling for this that you're going to use on woman is the same. This man, this woman. But in Hebrew, when you want to say this man, and you want to point out a man, the word for this that you're going to use is different from the word that you're going to use when you want to point out a woman. This man, different from this woman. What am I trying to say? In Hebrew, like we saw for adjectives, demonstrative pronouns also have two forms, one for masculine and one for feminine. And this is seen in the singular as well as in the plural. So let's look at the paradigm. So on top here, we have this demonstrative pronoun. And so in the masculine, we have ze. Ze means this. Ze means this in the singular. And if you're pointing out a group of people, more than one person, more than one object, you're going to say ele. Ele, meaning these. In the feminine, we have zot. We have zot. Zot means this. And in the plural, it's ele. In the plural, it's ele. And this is what I was talking about. You have ze, which means this, and you have zot, which means this. And you're wondering, why do you have two forms? Because when you're pointing out a man, a masculine object, you're going to say ze, meaning this. And you know because ze is pointing out masculine. So know that you're talking about a masculine object. And if you want to point out a feminine object, you're going to use zot, meaning this. So in Hebrew, there are forms for the masculine and forms for the feminine. Ze, this, zot, this. But here the good part, as you can see, In the plural has only one form. These, the word for these in Hebrew is ele, ele. The plural has only one form, meaning it's common. It can be used for the masculine or for the feminine. And when we come down here, we have the demonstrative pronoun that. In the masculine, we have who, and that means that. Who means that. And if it's a group of objects, you're going to say hema, hema, and that means those. The feminine, we have he. He means that. He, that. In the plural, it's hena, hena. Hena means those. So masculine singular, we have who. Feminine, we have he. Who, he. So here's a hint for memorization. Here's a hint that is going to help you to memorize this. Who is he and he is she. Who is he and he is she. Meaning that when you see who, it's pointing out a masculine object. And when you see he, it's pointing out a feminine object. So, who is he, meaning who is for masculine object, and he is she. He is for feminine objects. So that's going to be important for you to know. Now you need to master this paradigm for you to know demonstrative pronouns. This paradigm is going to be very important in helping you translate Hebrew. So you need to know this paradigm by heart. Let's look at the uses of demonstrative pronouns. Now we said that there are two, and so the first one is this. Demonstrative pronouns can be used as an adjective. And when they are used as an adjective, they are going to function in the same way as attributive adjectives. I want to repeat. When demonstrative pronouns are used as an adjective, they're going to function in the same way as attributive adjectives. This means that they're going to come after the noun that they qualify, and they're going to agree with the noun in gender and number, and also they're going to have the article, the definite article, if the noun is having the definite article. So in short, they're going to agree in G and D, in gender, number, and definiteness, just like we saw for attributive adjectives. Let's look at the examples. Ha'ish hazeh. Ha'ish hazeh. Here of the demonstrative pronoun ze, and ze means this. Ha'ish means the man. Hazeh. Hazeh means this. As you can see, it has come after the noun. And number two, it's agreeing in gender and number. Because ze is masculine, and it's masculine singular, and it's having the definite article. So it's agreeing in gender, number, and definiteness. And you can see that the noun is also masculine singular, and it's carrying the definite article. So you have Ha'ish hazeh, this man. And the way it's translated is the same as how you translate attributive adjectives. So you're going to say, this man, this man. Second phrase we have, Ha'isha hazot. Ha'isha hazot. As you can see, the demonstrative pronoun here is zot. And zot, when you check the paradigm, zot is feminine. And you see, the noun is also feminine. Isha means woman, and woman is feminine. And because the noun is feminine, you're going to use a feminine demonstrative pronoun. Because demonstrative pronouns also have to agree in gender, number, and definiteness. So here we've used zot because Isha is feminine, and zot is feminine singular, and Isha is singular. So the demonstrative pronoun is matching with the noun in gender, number, and definiteness. As you can see, all of them have definite articles. And so zot means this, Ha'isha means the woman. Translating this is going to mean this woman, this woman. Next you have the phrase Hasus hahu. Hasus hahu. Hasus hahu means that horse. Again, notice both of them have definite article, and both words are masculine singular. Hu is masculine singular demonstrative pronoun. Sus is masculine singular noun. So the demonstrative pronoun is matching with the noun in gender, number, and definiteness. Meaning that horse. Hasus hahu, that horse. And finally, we have this example. Tova hasusa hahi. Tova hasusa hahi. And here we have this demonstrative pronoun, he. He means that. Remember, who means that in the masculine. He means that in the feminine. So you have he, feminine singular. It means that. And then you have tova. Tova means good. Hasusa. Hasusa means the mare. So the translation is, that mare is good. That mare is good. Notice susa is having the definite article, and the demonstrative pronoun he is also having definite article. So here it's matching gender and number definiteness. And one thing to notice for all the examples, notice the position of the demonstrative pronouns. They are coming after the noun that they point out. Why? Because they're acting like attributive adjectives. They're coming after the noun that they modify, and they agree in gender, number, and definiteness. So that's important to notice. Function number 2 is when the demonstrative pronoun functions as a pronoun. When it functions as a pronoun, it's going to behave like a predicate adjective. And so it's going to come before the noun. And it's going to agree in gender and number, but not definiteness. It's not going to carry the definite article. For example, we have the phrase ze haish. Ze haish. Now remember how you were translating the predicate adjective? You are supplying the word is or are or was. In the same way, when the demonstrative pronoun functions as a pronoun, and that means when it's used in the predicative use, it's going to be translated the same way. It's going to be, this is the man. This is the man. We're saying the man because you have haish. Haish means the man. Ze is the word for this. Demonstrative pronoun this. This is the man. In the second phrase you have ze haish hatov. Ze haish hatov. And this means this is the good man. This is the good man. Now why are we saying good man? Because at the end here we have hatov. And this adjective hatov is functioning as an attributive adjective. Why? Because it has come after the noun is modifying. Ish is the noun, tov is adjective. And so since it has come after the noun, it's modifying the word ish. And so we're not going to say the man is good. We're going to say the good man. We're going to say good man. But then we have this demonstrative pronoun that has come before. The demonstrative pronoun ze is functioning in the predicative use. And so we're going to supply is. We're going to say this is the good man. This is the good man. How about the next one? Zot haaretz. Zot haaretz. Haaretz means the land. And then we have zot. Zot is a far demonstrative pronoun. It means that. And so you have that the earth or that the land. How to translate that? Now because zot or this demonstrative pronoun has come before the noun and it's not having the article, so it's functioning as predicative use. It's functioning in the predicative. And because it's in the predicative use, the translation is going to have the supplied is. So it's going to be, this is the land. This is the land. This is the land. Zot is a feminine singular demonstrative pronoun, and the noun aretz is also feminine. Land or earth is feminine in Hebrew. So they are matching in gender and number, but not definiteness. The demonstrative pronoun that is in the predicative use is not going to take the definite article. And so that is going to guide you in translating it by supplying is. This is the land. This is the land. The last example there we have Ele todot hashamayim we haaretz. Ele todot hashamayim we haaretz. And that means these are the generations of the heavens and the earth. Hashamayim we haaretz. Hashamayim means the heavens. Where is a conjunction? And. So you have and there. Aretz means earth, the heavens and the earth. And then you have ele, which is a demonstrative plural. So it becomes, these are the generations of the earth. Now, if this demonstrative pronoun came after the noun, the translation was going to be, these generations of the heavens and the earth. These generations of the heavens and the earth. But because it has come before, it's functioning in the predicate, so we supply the word are. So it's going to be, these are the generations of the heavens and the earth. And the reason for that translation, the second reason for that translation is because ele is not having the definite article. When the adjective or pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, is not having the definite article, that is a key for us to translate it with that supplied are or is. It's in the predicative use. So the translation is going to be, these are the generations of the heavens and the earth. And this phrase is found in Genesis 2, verse 4. Alright, based on demonstrative pronouns, from what we've looked at so far, try to translate these phrases. All the vocabulary words that are used here are words that you've covered so far. And you can pause the video, and after that, unpause to see the correct translations. So on the first phrase, we have Hadavar Hagado Hazeh. Now, first of all, notice the position of the demonstrative pronoun. It's very important. The position is this, that does come at the end after the noun is modifying. And because it does come after the noun, it's functioning as an attributive adjective. And then Hadavar, Hadavar means the word or the thing. Hagado, Hagado means the great. The great, Gado means great. So you have the word, the great, the this. The word, the great, the this. When you bring that in English, it's going to be this great thing. This great thing. When we're saying great thing, again, Hagado is in the attributive. So you're not going to say this thing is great. You're going to say this great thing. Because this adjective also, Gado, has come after the noun. You only supply the word is if the adjective has come before the noun. But when it comes after the noun, you say this great thing. This great thing. Second example there, we have the phrase Hara Hagedolah Hazod. Hara Hagedolah Hazod. Again, notice the position. The demonstrative pronoun has come after the noun, and also this adjective, Gedolah, which means great, has come after the thing is modifying. So you have the evil, Hara, the evil, the great, which is Hagedolah, Hazod, which is this. So the translation is going to be this great evil. It's not going to be this evil is great. I want to repeat, it's not going to be this evil is great. You only say that if Zot, the demonstrative pronoun Zot, came before the noun or the thing is modifying. But when the demonstrative pronoun comes after, you say this great thing. So it's going to be this great thing. Another example there is the next phrase, Achar Hadevarim Ha'ele. Achar Hadevarim Ha'ele. Again, position does come after. Achar means after. This is a preposition, it means after. So you say, after these, ele, these, devarim, hadevarim, the things or the words. After these words or after these things. So it's going to be after these things. The demonstrative pronoun is carrying the definite article because it's functioning as an attributive adjective, functioning as a noun. On the last example, we have Hakohen, Hagado, Hahu. Hakohen, Hagado, Hahu. Hakohen, Hagado, Hahu. And that means that great priest. Who is that? Who is that? And it's masculine singular because the adjective is masculine singular. And the noun being referred to, Kohen, means priest. So Kohen is masculine singular. And so the demonstrative pronoun also be masculine singular. Since the noun has an article, the demonstrative pronoun also have article. How do you translate it? That great priest. That great priest. Now, all these examples are having demonstrative pronouns that are functioning in the attributive use. And that's why you're seeing them coming after the noun or thing that they're modifying. Here's an exercise that I want you to try. And this is based on demonstrative pronouns, but these ones are in the predicate use. The previous ones were in the attributive use. These ones are in the predicate use. Try them out and see how you can translate them. All these words are words that you have covered so far. Use the principles that we looked at. And you can pause the video and after that unpause to see the correct translations. Alright, here are correct answers. Let's just quickly go through them. On the first one you have the phrase hu ha'ish. Hu ha'ish. And hu is a demonstrative pronoun in the masculine singular. It means that. Now notice the position. Because it has come before, we're going to supply the word is. And sometimes depending on the context, it's going to be was. But we're going to supply is. Ha'ish means the man. So that is the man. That is the man. That's the correct translation. It's going to be that is the man. That is the man. Next one we had Ele ha'anashim hatovim. Ele ha'anashim hatovim. Ele means these. It's a masculine plural. It means these. And that's the reason why even the noun being referred to is masculine plural. Ha'anashim is a plural form, irregular plural form of the word ish. Ha'anashim means the men. Hatovim means the good. So because the demonstrative pronoun has come before the noun, we are going to again supply the word is or are. In this case because it's plural. So these are the good men. These are the good men. The next one. He ha'isha. He ha'isha. Next one is going to be translated as that is the woman. Ha'isha means the woman. That is the woman. The last one we have Hena hanashim hatovot. Hena hanashim hatovot. Again, it has come before. Hena is a plural form. It's a feminine plural form, demonstrative pronoun, and means those. It means those. Hanashim means women, the women. Hatovot means the good. So it's going to be those are the good women. Those are the good women. As you can see, these ones are in the predicate use. And that's the reason why they are lacking the definite article. Always will never take the demonstrative pronoun. And they will come before the noun or thing that they are modifying. And when you're translating, you're going to add or supply the word is or are or was depending on the context. So this is how you translate demonstrative pronouns. Alright, let's look at chapter 8 vocabulary. Let's look at words that you're going to find in chapter 8. Let's look at the nouns. The first one we have El Shaddai. El Shaddai. El Shaddai means El Shaddai. It means El Shaddai or it means God Almighty. Shaddai is coming from the word that means mighty. El means God. Shaddai means mighty, almighty. Next word we have Ashur. Ashur. And that means Asha. It means Assyria or it means Asha. Ashur means Assyria. The next word we have the word Zaken. Zaken. Zaken means elder. It means old person or it means elder. Melacha. Melacha. Melacha means business. It means business or work or employment. Next word we have Edah. Edah means congregation. It means assembly, gathering or congregation. While on the nouns we have Ra'ah. Ra'ah. Ra'ah means evil. It means harm. It means trouble, disaster, or most of the times it means evil. And the next word is Toledot. Toledot. And Toledot means generations. It means descendants. And this is very common in Genesis. You hear These are generations of Abraham. These are generations of Noah. So Toledot means generations. On the verbs, we have Zaken. So Zaken can be a verb, and it means he was old, or it can be a noun, old person or elder. So if it's a verb, it means he was old. If it's a noun, it means older. It means old person, elder or old person. Last verb, we have Malé. Malé. Malé means he was full, he was filled, he was full. And then we have pronouns. The first one is ele. Ele, which is a demonstrative pronoun. So this category that we find here, these are demonstrative pronouns that we've covered, and you must know them by heart. These are part of your vocabulary for chapter 8. These words down here, all these words are demonstrative pronouns, and so you must know them by heart. So the first one is ele. Ele means these. It's a common plural. It's a demonstrative pronoun that can be used for masculine or feminine. Ele means these. Then we have who. Who means that. Who means that. Then we have he. He means that. Who means that in the masculine singular. That's a masculine singular form. He means that in the feminine singular. Ze means this. Ze means this. Zot means this. And next we have two forms. We have hema and we have hem. Hema and hem. Hem is less common. The one that is common is hema. So hema means those. Hema means those. And then we have hena. Hena means those. It means those. Hema is used on masculine pronouns. Hena is used on feminine pronouns. So that's the difference. So you must know how they are used and what they mean, because when you're translating, that is very important. And then we come to adjectives. These are adjectives that you must know. The first one is zaken. Zaken means odd. So zaken can be a noun, it can be a verb, it can be an adjective. On the noun, it means elder, it means old person, or it means elder. If it's a verb, it means he was old or he grew old. If it's an adjective, it means old, the old man, the old woman, it means old. Zaken means old. And then we have yashar. Yashar means upright or honest. The adjective yashar means upright or honest. And then we have Sadiq. Sadiq means innocent, it means just, it means righteous. Most of the times it means righteous. Sadiq, it means righteous. Then we have Ra or Ra'a. There are two forms to this. Sometimes it's written as Ra, sometimes it's written as Ra'a. But Ra means evil, it means evil. Then we have adverbs. We have ata. Ata means now. It means now. This has to do with time. So when you see ata, it has to do with time. It means now. Then we have sham. Sham means there. It means there. When referring to a place, it means there. So go through these words that you find in chapter 8 and know them by heart, especially the demonstrative pronouns. You must know all these words that are found in chapter 8. Go through them, practice. Later out.